been introduced, my name is Vivek Anand, and I've been working with Humsafar since 1996. So it's been like I just complete this June 28. I complete 25 years of working here. I joined Humsafar as a volunteer, and I was very soon trained as a community counselor. And I'm talking about a time when nobody was willing to come out openly and say that I'm gay. So I was trained as a community counselor. I started my journey there. Uh, then sometime in 99, we got our first project, but we realized that we did not find and Humsafar is a community-based organization. So almost 97 to 98% of our teams are LGBTQ plus. So that's one of the things in our HR policy. So uh, people within the community were not willing to come forward and work with community. So, well, I decided to take the plunge. Obviously, because I came from uh, I came from a business management background. I studied in a business school. Uh, I worked in the media, but I was volunteering with Humsafar. So volunteering with Humsafar helped me to kind of move forward, and that's how my journey began at the Humsafar Trust. Now it's 25 years, and I am the Chief Executive Officer at the Humsafar Trust. And I always tell people that I'm probably the cheapest CEO in the world. So if you don't have money, you can always call me, but you should be working with LGBTQ plus. Otherwise, I don't work. So yeah, it's been a very, very long journey for all of us. We've seen various ups and downs. I would just kind of uh, take you through that journey and how we made it happen. But before that, I would like to give you the mandate of Humsafar. So, sex, sexuality, and gender is the mandate of Humsafar Trust, and we work on the health and human rights of LGBTQ plus communities. So, a lot of times people get, the moment you ask, ask them about their sex, so they find that question rather scandalous. But when we talk about your sex, we just want to know whether you were male assigned at birth or female assigned at birth. Unfortunately, in our country, we still go by the gender that is assigned to you at birth. And that's one of the things that we've been working upon, that gender assigned at birth may not be correct, and you need to give people come that age where they would assign gender to themselves. But well, that's one of the things that we aim to achieve. But as of now, when you talk to people, for them, like, sex, no, sex is just we asking you, were you uh, assigned male at birth, were you assigned female at birth? And then when we talk about gender, so when we talk about gender, we are basically talking about how we socially construct ourselves. So if I am male born, and if I dress up like, the way I'm dressed up, if my hair is short and I'm wearing a shirt and a trouser, uh, that kind of works well because my gender matches my social construction. But then, what if I am a male born who feels like a female? What if I feel that I'm born in the wrong body, or that I was not given the correct body, or I was not, I needed to be a woman? And then I want to express myself. I want to express myself as a woman. So my gender expression changes. So, like, I'm male assigned at birth and I'm growing up as male, and suddenly one day I start dressing up as a woman and I want to be called a female. And that gender expression becomes a major cause of concern in our society. Similarly, I may be uh, a female born at birth, but while growing up, I realized that no, I do not think I'm a woman. I think I'm a male born. Like, I feel like a man. I don't want to be a woman. So when you know women assigned female at birth, when they go through that transition and they want to dress up, they want to be called a female, they want to be called a woman, construct ourselves, and how do we prepare the society that if I socially construct myself as a woman, that's where I see my real identity. I'm kind of, I feel that way. I feel I'm in a wrong body and I want to express myself. I want to express myself in the other gender. So these are kind of ongoing debates. Then there are many people who may be, non-binary, and they may not conform to either male or female or any other gender. So how would we look into their issues? These are long battles. These are long discussions which may not be resolved in one day. But well, it's an ongoing journey. At least now we have reached a stage where we are talking about it. Even the Supreme Court judgment that struck down Section 377 also gives freedom to individuals that they have a right to express their gender in public spaces. So if I want to express myself as a woman, then there is no law that stops me from doing that. But law cannot stop me, and I cannot be arrested for that. But is the society prepared to see me as a woman? Or is the society prepared to see me as a man while I was born as a female? So those are the clashes that happen, and we need to think through this and how do we kind of find a way out. And the third spectrum is sexuality. Now, when I say sexuality is what like how do like I would say uh, where does my sexual orientation lie? As a man, do I like other men? As a woman, do I like other women? Or as a man, I think I am a woman and I like other men. Because then in my mind, my sexuality is heterosexual because I think as a woman and I'm in love with a man. But physically, I'm still a male-bodied person. But like then there are gay identified and lesbian identified and bisexual identified people who would get up and take a stand. Like I would take a stand that I look at myself as a gay man who's attracted to other men, not as a woman, but as a man. There are many women who like other women as a woman and not as a man. So these things, they define my sexuality. So a lot of times we see that within the trans communities, the trans men and trans women, they take a stand that I'm not a man, I'm a woman. And she says, I'm not a woman, I'm a man. So how they navigate through these challenges. And this has been a major focus of our work for over the years. LGBTQ plus person uh, cannot be part of my family. My idea was that I will go out and hold your hand, and in turn, you will go out and hold other hands. And those people will go out and hold other people's hands. And this hand holding will make a chain of human beings where each one would have a family of their own. Because one Vivek alone, there are millions of LGBTQ plus people. So I cannot be a parent figure to everyone. But for them, they need to, I can just handhold a couple of kids and they have gone out and they have held other people's hands. So now there are times, we say that we have this extended family, and there are times when I don't even know who's who in my family. But these are like, my chosen family, my kids and their kids and their kids and their kids. But we did that. And also I grew up in the times where everybody met physically. So we didn't grow up in the internet era. We did not grow up on dating sites. So if you had to meet other people, you had to meet through physical interactions. So there were these places where gay men met and they went out and they socialized. So that's where we met. So for me, somewhere I feel that I'm not very comfortable on internet. I would rather, I always tell youngsters that the only thing I see missing in the current generation is the human touch. Because there is so much in your heart that you wish to speak, but you have no one to talk to. And that takes its toll on your mental health. So find someone whom you can talk to, because in the end, it's about touching, it's about healing, it's about reaching out to someone whom you can physically see and talk, and that person can be your friend. So that's one aspect I feel, like I told you, was that we won't be a model of confrontation. The second was that we will work from within our system. So when I say from within our system, say we work with hospitals. So we work with government hospitals. We have trained them, sensitized them, educated them over a period of years. You know, I may go to a private hospital and the private hospital can refuse me admission. But if I go to a government hospital, it belongs to the citizens of India. Once someone had told me that, oh, these are public hospitals and they are run by taxpayers' money. I say, even if I'm not a taxpayer, I'm a citizen of this country. So I have a right on my health. I have a right to access my health. I have a right to understand uh, like what my needs are, and public healthcare delivery is the solution. So that was one decision we made. We also decided that we will work with our state. So it does not matter to us which government is in power, because eventually it's the bureaucrats who run the country. But yeah, government will, the political will is very important. So if you feel that your government is not very friendly, we will talk to them also. We won't take a stand that we won't work with them. Of course, we have to work with everyone. If we are going to talk about our rights, our health, our issues, then we are going to kind of, work with any government that's in power. HIV was a big challenge to us. So in 99, 2000, we did a baseline study where we figured out that the HIV prevalence in the gay, men having sex with men, and transgender communities was very high. And we prepared, so, people in the government healthcare delivery wouldn't understand that, who are we? And what does being gay mean? And what is MSM? So we have created an MSM circle, which shows different identities and different labels. It was mainly for public healthcare delivery. So we started explaining that diagram to everyone, that map to everyone, that this is where you will find homosexual men, and identifying transgenders was easy, but they have a very different conception of what a trans person is, which is kind of very, very wrong. So getting them to understand what it means to be trans was a task, but we started doing that, and sustainability is very big issue. So I was once asked that what is sustainability? I said sustainability means not depending on one partner. Sustainability means having various partners who will support. Today, like our clinic is supported by more than 3 partners. There are corporates, there is government. So that's how we work. So that's how we started learning the lessons of sustainability. And how do we kind of, make our programs, our efforts, our initiatives sustainable within the communities. So that was one journey we started in 99, 2000. We have absolutely no civil rights. Like if someone were to ask me, like, do we have a right to marriage? It's being opposed. Do we have a right to adopt children with our partners? Forget it. Let's not even talk about it. Do we have a right to education? Well, we have a study which shows that 65% of trans men and women dropped out of school before they completed their 9th grade because they couldn't deal with the bullying in school. So we don't even have right to education. Is there a right to equal job opportunities? No, we do not have. I can't be working somewhere and getting up and saying that, hey, look, I am gay, or I am lesbian, or I'm a bisexual. No. So we need to work towards it. And all these things have not changed after the Supreme Court judgment of 2018. So a lot of work needs to be done. And right now, we need to kind of work with various stakeholders. We need to work with the government first. We need to work with the judiciary, legislative, like I said, with government bodies and all, with law enforcement agencies. We need to work within our families. Like, the first thing I need to do is I need to work upon myself and say it's okay to be gay. And then, bring it to my family. A lot of times we come out to our families and tell them that, hey, I'm gay, and families can't deal with it. So I always tell the younger generation that you took time to come to terms with yourself. Now you have to give them some time to come to terms with your sexuality. You dealt with your sexuality, they are dealing with your sexuality. So don't sit in judgment on your parents. Give them time, make them understand. You have to do the hand holding. Otherwise, things are not going to change. Vivek sitting in Bombay uh, cannot understand needs of people sitting in Guwahati, or people sitting in Imphal, or people sitting in Tripura. But our job is to identify good community people in these, not just Northeast, but all over country, and then provide them with training and provide them with capacity building and take them forward. So in the world, I can very clearly say one is the LGBTQ plus movement, and second is the people living with HIV movement. These two have reached where they are because of communities themselves. Otherwise, nobody would care for them. Otherwise, nobody would come forward and help them. Be proud of yourself. You have a right to be yourself. You are created by this nature. In this nature, you exist in this nature, and you need to survive in this nature. And if there is anybody who makes you feel otherwise, if there's anybody who makes you feel that you are wrong or you are abnormal, you can just go tell people that they are abnormal, you are not. Stand up for yourself, get up for yourself.